Hey there, I'm the Madcatster. Am I glad to see you here? Well, we've got some updates on two of the Ace family's ongoing lawsuits, the one with Silly Juice and the one with Faze Jarvis. One of the updates actually just happened today. I'm going to fill you in because I've got the deets and all the receipts. So buckle up and let's go. So I'm here with Sybil the Enforcer. And Sybil says, please like and subscribe. Keep inching upwards towards 19,000. I'd like to get there with your help. So please like and subscribe. And also, I had more people tell me that their notifications weren't working from YouTube. So they weren't getting notified when my new videos were uploaded. So can you please double check if you've got your notifications on and make sure that they're working? That would be great. I'd appreciate it. So today we're going to talk about two of the Ace family's many ongoing lawsuits. And if you didn't see my video from last week about the big New York lawsuit that's pending against them, I'll put a link down in my description because that is a really interesting lawsuit. It's a long video, but it's pretty interesting, the nonsense going on in New York. But anyways, we're going to look at Langer Juice and then the Faze Jarvis versus Ace family lawsuit. So a lot of you probably know that Silly Juice was a collaboration between the Ace family and Langer's Juice Company, which is an established juice company in California. And it was to produce a juice line that would be basically branded by the Ace family and promoted by the Ace family. And it ended up, of course, like everything else they've done, a big flop and a failure, and accusations flying on both sides. Well, Langer Juice finally filed a lawsuit against the McBrooms, and including Alan McBroom, the father, because they alleged that they didn't pay invoices they were supposed to pay. Of course, you know, that I think we all pretty much know that anything that's brought against them now includes the failure to pay something, because that's just the way it rolls with them. Anyways, one of the things they had also alleged was that Alan McBroom had tried to stage a coup to take the company over from Langer's and basically kick Langer's out of the equation, but that never came to pass. But anyways, there was a mess up because Langer Juice's attorneys failed to show up for a scheduled hearing, and the court, of course, was not happy. So it was requested that the court enter a default judgment against Langer's Juice. So usually it's the other way around. But Langer's attorneys ended up filing with the court saying that it was excusable neglect, that it was not intentional, that they missed the hearing, and they must have worked it out because the court did not enter a default. And when I looked at the docket today, it looks like Langer's fired their attorneys. Well, I don't blame them. That's a pretty big screw up. You know, they could have had a default judgment against them. That totally would have destroyed the lawsuit, you know, and I think the Ace family has counterclaims. So that would have meant counterclaims against Langer's would have been granted. Anyways, they seem to have worked it out, and everything seems to be back on track. There was a case management conference just today, and the court has ordered the parties to participate either in private mediation or a mandatory settlement conference prior to the final status conference. So in other words, they can choose to have their own settlement negotiations outside of court, or they can attend a settlement conference at court. And then after that, there's going to be a final status conference, and that's scheduled for August 6th of next year. That's how far out this is. And then the jury trial is scheduled to start on August 20th, 2024. So we're still a long ways out from this thing getting to trial, but it'll be interesting now to see if they do end up coming to some kind of a negotiated settlement. I'll keep you posted. But then we have the other lawsuit involving Jarvis Khattri, also known as Faze Jarvis, or formerly known as Faze Jarvis. And he, a little late to the party, but he jumped on the lawsuit bandwagon suing the Ace family and Simply Greatness Productions, Austin McBroom's company, for failing to pay him what he was promised when he fought in Social Gloves 1 back in 2021. He has, like, I think 6 years or so. It depends on what California's rules for statute of limitations is. But, you know, even though he's late, it's not past the time when he could have filed. In that matter, this time the Ace family didn't file an answer. Jarvis Khattri versus the Ace family, and again, Alan McBroom is part of that because he's part of everything they do. Jarvis Khattri's attorneys had filed for default against the Ace family because they failed to answer the complaint, and I had mentioned this before to you guys. They must have come to some kind of an agreement because there was a stipulation filed, and I'll put it up here, filed a couple weeks ago, that's a stipulation in order to set aside entry of default. So the default was not entered by the court. The parties have agreed to go forward with the lawsuit, and they've agreed some discovery schedules where they'll exchange evidence. What I found interesting is the Ace family did finally file their answer, because that was part of the agreement to set aside the default. They had to file their answer. Now, of course, the Ace family has issued a general denial of everything claimed in Jarvis Khattri's lawsuit, but they've also put forward what we call affirmative defenses. And affirmative defenses are like reasons why the other side shouldn't win. You know, it could be something to do with a legal issue or some kind of fraud or whatever. In this case, the Ace family has put 35 affirmative defenses, and I think that's the most I've ever seen in a lawsuit. 35 is a big number. But one of the things that they point out, and I did go back and look at the contract, and I'll put it up here, you can see, they've put in what's known as an arbitration clause. And what it is the parties agree that rather than go to court to sue, they agree that they will participate in a neutral arbitration with a neutral arbitrator, and the arbitrator will hear, it's basically like sort of like a trial. I've participated in them before. The arbitrator hears evidence on both sides, and there's, you can question witnesses the same as you do in court. And then the arbitrator decides who's the winner, and basically that decision sticks. So when there's an arbitration clause, generally people don't file in court, but for some reason, Jarvis Khattri did file this in court. And what I'm surprised is the Ace family uses as one of their affirmative defenses, actually the first one, is the fact that there's an arbitration clause, and that's why this lawsuit shouldn't go forward. However, what's really weird is they didn't file a motion to dismiss, because usually if there's an arbitration clause, the defendant will file a motion to dismiss because it's not supposed to be in court. It's supposed to be in arbitration. But for some reason, the Ace family's attorneys haven't done that. And so it looks like they're going forward in court, even though there's an arbitration clause, which I find really bizarre. So that's unusual. But they can still file it. It's not too late. They could still file it. But the fact that they've now got their answer in and things are getting scheduled and moving forward, I don't know if they will. They filed counterclaims too. So, if they do go to arbitration, all of that will get dismissed. So it seems like a lot of work for nothing if they intend to ask the court to dismiss and send it to arbitration. But we'll wait and see. I will keep you guys posted on everything that's going on with the lawsuits. I hope you guys are having a great 2023 so far. Sybil and I, again, will ask you, please like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. I'd like to thank all of our Patreon patrons. Thank you so much, you guys, for your monthly support. Thank you so much to our channel members for your monthly support. Really, really, we appreciate it. I also don't have anybody to thank for the Amazon wishlist today, but just to let you know, I have revised the list and added and subtracted a few things from the list. So if you are interested, the link is down below in the description. I will be happy to give anybody who sends the cat something a shout out. But you guys, please take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.
Pretty please. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell. I get a treat for every new sub. Thank you.